Hey, this is Daryl Mount with KCS. Today we're going to do a quick overview of the routeman solution. This is, when I say routeman solution, I like to refer to the Office software as routeman. The other components that you experience with routeman as a standard feature is obviously the Route mobile device, Android device, and also the dashboard mapping solution. But I'm going to just give a quick overview of the routeman solution, the Office software. You have at the top here, it's a Windows environment, first of all, so it runs on any Windows machine, or if you have Apple machines, it will also run on an Apple machine. If you have software on it like Parallels or something to trick the Apple computer into thinking that it's a Windows machine. So basically, though, it runs on most any PC that you got out there today. So you got up at the top, you got File. When you click on File, you'll see various functions, things where you control groups, routes, devices, information about devices, reminders, payment types, and going right down on the list. And if you're a system administrator, you'll even have a button down here that has to do with system administration functions, where you set up users and other things. You also have filters, where you can set up various entities of the filtering when you go to search for things. I usually have mine set to company name, and I'll bring up anything that's based on company name. Products, this is where you set up your products. And if you have the option for equipment, this is where you set up your equipment modules, components. Like in the ice industry, it would be like your boxes out there, your merchandisers. And so that's a very robust option unto itself. It also includes in the equipment module a feature for alternate billing. And also it keeps up with the maintenance, keeps up with where all your boxes are located. Taxes, this is where your tax entities and get set up for the various tax entities. In our state, there's several different taxes that you have to include: state, local, and of course your federal tax that you keep up with. Call center is another option that we offer, and that kind of depends on your business model, whether you need that or not. Most ICE companies don't, but we do have a call center option. Dispatch. Dispatch is the next button that you see over, where you can launch the dispatch and launch the dashboard from here, and do your delivery and schedule reports and stuff like that. So that'll be another episode, though, of the videos that we go through. Utilities, there's several different things. One of the things I use a lot in my KCS database is generating the equipment periodic billing that we mentioned over there in the equipment module. And a couple other things too that you can see in here is bulk customer edit. That's a favorite that a lot of people. So if you have a lot of changes that you need, this is where you can set up bulk customer edit. The refresh button refreshes everything in routeman. There's also a refresh button over here under the customer, where you can refresh just a customer after you've made a change. So this would be quick and easy to make a refresh on a particular customer, whereas this refresh button would refresh all of routeman. And of course, our help documents. We have videos that we're doing here today, and also different Word documents that we can put out in front of you if you click on these various help documents. So it comes in real handy. You also, anytime you're looking at routeman itself, you have your ability to go to customers in there, and your drop down, and you can type again by my filter, like a customer name. Right now I have it filtered by route. I'm going to put it on all customers so you can see how quick and easy it switches over. And so now it's you're looking at all customers in your database. So that's a quick and easy way to kind of filter by all, route, or groups. Groups is a very important feature in routeman. We'll talk about that in another episode later. So you got your general tab for that particular customer that we're looking at here, 7-Eleven store. You also have your bill address, information, your ship address information, and they are two different things because a lot of times you'll have a post office box for the bill to address, and of course the physical address being the street address. You'll notice here in routeman we have the addresses have a geocoding tool, and you end up with an X and Y location in the real world of where that business is located at. And then there's a handy dandy tool here that you can click on to see where that actually pulls up in the real world, and it zooms down to its actual location to see if your geocoding is on or not. And there it is. There's the 7-Eleven store that this particular customer is at. Addresses, additional addresses that we have here is for like if this customer was actually a catering company, you would have additional addresses because they don't want it delivered to the post office box or the physical address, but they want it delivered to the event, the product delivered to the event. So that's why you have additional addresses that you can add in. Contacts is just that. You can have several different contacts in the list. You can also have email associated with those contacts, and just by double clicking on the email address that you have in there, then you can launch it out to Outlook and start an email right straight away from there. You also have notes, and down here, if you actually have it flagged as an urgent note, it would appear on the device, so that it will give information to the Route Mobile device, the driver that's out in the field. Delivery information, you have a lot of different things in here that we have. Comments that can go up on the invoice, delivery information. You can put the business DUNS number in there, store number, whether or not PODs are required, proof of deliveries. Dexing, which is a requirement with certain customers, with Ready Ice customers. Store stamp required. If you have a store stamp box flag there, what you have is the customer's ability to, out in the Route Mobile device out there, when the thermal printer prints, it actually prints a place for the rubber stamp to be stamped on the invoice in the field. So some nice features that we have built in there. Financing, routeman comes complete with accounts receivables. So since it does have the complete accounts receivables set up in routeman, we don't require you to export it to another financial package like some of our competitive systems require you to buy something like QuickBooks. Yes, we do have tools where you can export it to it if you need to export it and want to do your accounts receivables over there. But it's only a small percentage of our clients that actually export to QuickBooks. Most people use, because they want to work within one system, they use routeman financials. And so you set up the terms here. You can even set up over credit limit terms here and stuff like that. If they exceed the credit limit, this would be the first screen you would see when you go to this customer. And it would be flashing in red right here. Anytime you exceeded credit limit, exceeded the credit limit. This has to do with the customer call center. The call center setup basically it looks like this. If you don't have the call center module, you won't even see this. But this is where the call center gets set up for that particular customer, what day of the week you're going to call them, and everything else. Web information is just that. Over on this side, basically, this is where the username and password gets set up for 7-Eleven, for example. If you want 7-Eleven to have access to their account online through the customer care center, which again, the customer care center is an option. You don't have to buy that, but that is an option. But that's where you get the username and password set up. URLs, you can have any website or Facebook page or URL that you want to stick in here as a reference for that customer. Down below here we have also a new feature that's coming out shortly. It's being beta tested as we speak, in fact out in the field, called a product called Express. Express is an application that will be downloaded to a smart device, anything really that any smart device that they might have where customers can actually place an order and it'll come automatically into your dispatch screen so that you can dispatch it immediately to a truck for delivery. At a quick glance though, over here you can always see what the customer owes, and you can see this particular 7-Eleven store that we have is they do owe some money. So everything though I need to know about this 7-Eleven store is right at my fingertips, as you can see here. All the general information, the detail that goes along with it, including the invoices and the payments associated with it. You notice this invoice is red. It's color coded. So if you look at the color legend, there's your color legend. And your accounting people get familiar with this color coding pretty quick. So it's easy to see. And right now they have no payments. It's quick and easy to assign a new payment by taking maybe a check comes in the mail and you can just quickly assign a payment to it. You know, just by simply clicking on the button, the check comes in, the check number might be a certain number, and they're paying $100. And you go ahead and take the payment and you say okay, then you allocate the payment against the invoice, and so that quick and easy, you said okay and return, and you've taken a payment. There it comes in there, and you allocate it against that invoice. So you notice the color changed because they only paid part of that invoice. So very quick and easy to see what's going on here. You got delivery information, so we collect a lot of information about deliveries, as you can see, and that is important for us, including what's open, what's canceled, completed, etc. Pricing in routeman, there's different tiers of pricing. In fact, let me go to another customer here. You'll kind of see some of that. In pricing, you have like group pricing, and we're big on group prices because it's much easier to change the price for group pricing, and that's another episode unto itself too. But groups is real important. You have all price, which is like a retail price for somebody walking in off the street. What the product that they pay for, it would be the retail price, and then the group price overrides the all price. One other tier higher than that would be a customer specific price, and we recommend you use that sparingly because obviously each individual customer then would be, you'd have to, anytime there was a price increase, you would have to change each individual one. One of the nice feature about the pricing though is you have start and end dates to it. So like if you want to have a price later on in the year to go in effect at a higher price and have a price increase, it's very easy to have today's price end and then assign when the start date on the new price would be. And so that you can set that up ahead of time when in the slow season to be able to take care of that. You also have over here, you notice minimums and maximums. So this allows you to be able to set up price breaks based upon a range of products that you have. Like if you give a price break after the customer has bought 50 of the widgets that you're selling, and then between 50 and 100 they get another discount, and so on. You can have minimum and maximum set up to actually have the price. So that's where that comes in. Again, if you have the equipment module we spoke about earlier above there, you would see the equipment that's assigned to that particular customer. They may have one or multiple pieces of equipment. There's a tool in here to be able to go to that customer in the under the equipment module and look at more information about the equipment module, which is again very robust unto itself. It also includes not only the general information about that piece of equipment, including last periodic maintenance date, for example. You're keeping up with your serial numbers of the equipment, but it also has the periodic billing, and periodic billing can be on a yearly basis, quarterly basis, weekly basis, just about any basis you need it. So just let us know what you need, and we help get that set up. Specs, you can have as many specs on the equipment module as your heart's desire. Just create a spec description and put a value with it. You also have customer locations. Customer locations keeps up with the full history of where that piece of equipment's been. It starts out in the warehouse, it moves to a customer. It could move back to, and the list would just keep growing but it could move back to the warehouse to be repaired or something like that and sent out to a different customer. But that will keep up with the full history of the of where it's been. Location description, you can add additional location descriptions. The maintenance module, along with that piece, it keeps up with all the maintenance, a maintenance order, describing the problem, the resolution, the parts used to create the problem, fix the problem. So that's, as you can see, this is a very robust addition to the routeman software. We also have assigned products, like if this particular piece of equipment was a truck, you may have assigned to that truck a pallet or a dolly, so you can assign other pieces of equipment to it. Then you have the docs module, which again is an option, but it's electronic storage of data. You can drag and pull other files in here, save electronic files in here. On a merchandiser, for example, a lot of times they'll put the manual in there or the warranty so that they'll have reference to it at any time. If I hit return, it'll bring me back to my screen here, and there's where the groups are. You can see the various groups. Again, groups are primarily used for price groups, like you can see here and here. That's a price group, but I use groups for lots of reasons. If you want to keep up with also the periodic billing group, but you can use groups for lots of reasons. Just keeping up with information about different groups of things that's going on in your company. Routes, you can see this particular customer is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different routes. So you can have as many routes. It might be, most customers is just on one route, but you might have a couple different routes with each customer that you have. Call log is just that, keeps up with any incoming calls. You can make a note if you called out to somebody and make a note of what you talked about and keep that in there. You can also assign tasks to people, and then there's a report in routeman that will actually tell people what you've talked about and keep up with the task of what they got to do, some things that you've assigned to them. We also have the call log history. This happens to do if you have the call log module that we talked about up here, but again, that's kind of rare that people use the call center. There's lots of other ways to be able to call people from the system. Like one methodology is when you filter by customer. For example, here I just defaulted to Jack's Wednesday route. So now instead of having access to all the customers in my drop-down, I just have Jack's route. And so when I click on by filter by route and pull up Jack's route, I can, by the way, I notice they're over credit limit, so that's always handy to know because that's what it defaults to when they're over credit limit. But I can go to the ship tab where you have the phone number, and I can go down the list and call everybody on that route to decide if they need ice that day or not. So there's a couple ways you can do that. Customer specific, if we forgot some kind of data that you want to collect, all you have to do is create a specific item and then put a value with it. So that's a good way of storing it. Par levels. Par levels is really, to add a par level, all you have to do is click on the button and say, okay, this guy usually takes medium bags of ice, for example, and say, okay, that quick and easy, you have created a par level form. And you could put a quantity with it if you want to, but think of par levels as a good way to make it easier for the driver to know what that customer picks all the time. And also, par levels is used in a couple other areas, like our customer care center. That's what the customer on when he logs into his account, that's what he could order online, and that customer care center then could send an order to the dispatcher. It also populates the new application that we have coming out shortly with the Express, where people can download an app to their smartphone or tablet and order online that way. And again, it comes directly into the dispatch. So par levels is a great thing to set up. Here's another area where docs is at, electronic storage of data. Docs actually appears in 3 locations in routeman. It appears under customers, like you see here, and like we saw before, it comes under equipment, where you might want to store your manuals for the pieces of equipment. But under customers, you might want to store a contract that you would have with customers, or a picture, any electronic file that you want to keep up with. So those are all good things to keep in mind as you use the routeman solution. That's pretty much covers just about everything. There's some other features going down here, like a formal print, and we can look at some of that just real quick. Like here's an invoice, for example. You could open that up as a formal print, or you could look at some other things. But there's a lot more detail that's going on here that our training specialists, when you get set up with routeman, you can start to take a look at. And but if you have any questions, that pretty much covers a quick overview of just the routeman software, looking at the main page here, and how one quick look at this has at your fingertips everything that you need to know about a customer.